I'm going to zip in and out of this thing. I got to fly to Abu Dhabi right now. We did a $1.5 million gate, 10,355 in attendance. She didn't give me the slip of the bonuses. Give me my bonus slip, please. Would you have her give me the slip with the bonuses? No? You gave it to me? No, I lost it on the way here. And they give me a piece of paper this big. Go, here's the bonuses. Good luck. We know what knockout of the night was, right? Machida. And then fight of the night was Barnott. He won fight of the night. Yeah, congratulations. And then submission of the night. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, Mizuko won the. This is what we got so far here. Who has the first question? Go ahead, brother, right here. We got mics, but just yell it out.
The second Andrade fight, a lot of people are saying that I should have been stopped in the second round. With the KJDS fight, which again, a lot of people think should have been stopped.
In the third round.
Do you think we need to look again at the intelligent defense rule with, you know, these two fights going on?
I agree 100%. That fight should have been stopped. It's a fight like that that made me not like women's MMA, actually. I saw a very one-sided mismatched fight. You know, that's one of those fights that look pretty good on paper. And in reality, it was a horrible one-sided mismatch. And it should have been stopped, I agree. I said what we should do is we should bring the ref out into the hallway and let somebody punch him in the face for 15 minutes and nobody jump in to help him, just to see what it feels like.
And if you can just quickly ask Luke, you seem to have him beat a couple of times, knocked down, but you didn't get the finish and then you ended up with a submission. Just take us through what was going through your head at that point.
I think I was just a bit overexcited, to be honest. I'd visualised so many times winning with the right hand, and when I caught him, you know, I thought I'd already won, and I got ahead of myself. But then the second time, luckily, I managed to scramble to his back and finish with a submission, so I was happy.
It looked like he visualized his his celebration many times. He kept trying to do that.
I wanted to look like a badass, you know, knock someone out and just walk away, but it didn't quite work.
Dana, down here to your left, up in front.
Hey.
Hey, can you real quick confirm the totals for the bonuses? Standard?
Yeah, it's 50,000.
50,000, okay. Take us through the Pearson-Gillard fight, and I saw those guys talking to you right after the fight. What were you guys talking about? Let me clarify what happened. I asked Joe Rogan to kind of explain everything, and he didn't. Basically, what happened was he was going to be taking a point. They were going to take a point away from Melvin Gillard, and the fight was going to continue. But the doctor stopped the fight on the cut. That's what happened. So, what is your take on the whole thing? I mean, I also heard that they're both going to get their win bonus. Is that
correct?
Can you confirm that?
Yeah, that is true. So what happened is, you know, when you come into new markets like this, where you know doctors don't do big fights all the time and things like this happen. I mean, if you saw the cut last weekend in Houston on Diego Sanchez, I mean, it had to be this big above his eye, and the fight continued, and it's the sickest fight I've ever seen. You know, it's an experience. The fight shouldn't have been stopped on that cut, but what are you going to do?
So do those guys get a rematch straight away? Is that
yeah, we'll figure that out and give them a rematch.
And then, real quick, what do you do next with Machida? Because obviously that's a pretty big statement in his first fight in the new division.
Huge, huge. You know, I think, and again, I'm just talking here as a fan, not as a promoter. I think a lot of people want to see him and Vitor Belfort. That would be a fun fight. So Vitor's got to win down in Brazil, and who knows, he could fight somebody else before that. But I'm just saying, as a fan, and speaking for many fans, I bet that's the fight they want to see. At least that's what everybody's screaming at me on the way out of the arena tonight.
Dana, over here, in front of you.
Yep.
To your left.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Do we know exactly what happened with Ryan Jimmo?
No, I don't know, but it looked like either his ACL popped or he, something popped in his knee, and that just happened in a fight recently too. We just saw here. Unfortunate, but It happens.
And a following question for Jimmy: how do you feel like the fight was going for you up to that point?
The fight was going well, according to plan. And I had his number. I was just waiting and picking him off and everything. I thought I hurt him with the knee, and he said his ankle went or his knee or whatever, but I don't know. A win's a win.
I've got a question for. I've got a question for Luke. Luke, we spoke quite a lot in the build-up to this fight, and you obviously said this was the biggest fight of your career. It was obviously a really impressive win. Where do you feel this puts you in the rankings, and who would you like to fight next?
Well, I think the thing with the UFC is every fight you ever have is going to be the biggest fight of your career. So, you know, I'll probably say that every time. He was ranked 21st, I believe, you know, so I don't know how it all really works. I'm real happy to get the finish. You know, I was the first person ever to finish Andrew Craig, and he's fought some pretty tough dudes. So, you know, it's good for me. I think it puts me up there. I think it establishes me here in England, and people know I'm serious now, you know. Joe Silva matched me up against a pretty tough guy for someone coming off the Ultimate Fighter at 6-0. So I think, you know, I'm here to stay, and I think people know that now.
Yeah, I got a question for Dana. Alessio Sakara, with 4 straight losses, what's next for him?
I don't know. You know, I think that's his 4th straight loss in the UFC, and we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't make those kind of decisions tonight, so we'll figure it out.
Dana, just down here. Another fight tonight, another eye poke. How close are we to designing the gloves? What stage are we at? Is there a timetable for them actually being rolled out?
We're in a horrible stage. I mean, think about how do you design a glove where guys can punch and grapple and not poke people in the eye? I mean, even with boxing gloves back in the day, for a long time, guys were getting thumbed in the eye, and they had to redesign the attached thumb to the glove. It just, you know, we're not even close to designing a glove that'll keep from eye pokes. The answer to this question is keep your damn hands closed. You know, when you're, I understand your defense in tight, but as your hands start to extend, you got to close your hands. I mean, I know it's not an answer, but it's the only one I got.
Hey Dana, it's James here from the MMAshow.info, just in front of you.
Yep.
Just in our country, Scotland, it's been a massive week with Robert Whiteford getting the debut, and the whole country's been behind him. I know it didn't go to plan, but he's going to get another fight, right? And you're going to come to Glasgow soon, because we all want it, and you're not going to have to give away tickets in Glasgow.
People keep talking shit about this giving tickets away thing. We did a $1.5 million gate. That's what the Jones title fight did. Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen did that gate. We killed it here in Manchester, just like we always do. You know, people always like to bring up all this negative shit like we didn't do well here. $1.5 million in Manchester, England? Yeah, that doesn't suck. Where is Gary Cook? Where are you, Gary Cook?
Right here.
Glasgow? You want to answer this man's question, please?
We'll be in Glasgow in the next 18 months.
Next 18 months.
Thank you.
Dana?
You heard it from the man.
Dana, over to you.
Yes,
right?
okay,
you right?
I can hear you. What do you got?
There's been rumours in the pro wrestling community lately about a UFC fighter, and it's not known if it's past or present, to be in talks with the WWE. Can you confirm or deny these?
I have no idea. Yeah, doesn't matter to me. It's good for them. You know, these guys got to make money when they leave here too. Yeah, it's all good. I don't know who he is though. If he used to fight with the UFC, he ain't calling me up and asking for permission to go into WWE.
And there has been in the past 24 hours about the Bellator with Tito, and I saw your tweet saying
it's unfortunate.
A bitch.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, it's.
I can see you really.
Yeah, that breaks my heart. Couldn't happen to a better bunch of guys.
Dana, sorry for jumping in. You've said before, just recently, obviously the roster's really busy, you're stacked, you've got too many fighters, but Gary mentioned the other day, you're looking at doing between 12 and 16 events a year in Europe, in this kind of region. I mean, what kind of percentage of a bolster to the roster do you think you'll be able to get over here, as in bringing in more Euro guys?
Yeah, no, we didn't do it yet. The difference is we're talking about next year coming in and doing that. And the way that the contracts work is, you know, all these guys that are sitting up here right now are under contract to have whatever their fights are, 3 fights, 4 fights, 8 fights. They have that many fights that we have to get in a certain amount of time. So we have to get these guys those fights in a certain amount of time, or we have to pay them. Paying them isn't the issue. The real issue is keeping guys active. You know, that guys can consistently keep fighting 3 times a year without having to wait longer. So that's the real issue. So when we do, when he opens up these fights and we start doing all these fights over here, we will start to sign more guys. We'll get them under a contract where we know we're going to have fights, and then we can, you know, we can deliver.
Yeah, so that worked with Kimura that day. So you have 2 questions then. First of all, next time you're going to come back to England, it's going to be in London. Do you have any updates on exactly when you're going to come back?
8th of March.
8th of March.
Second question, there's been a lot of talks about you coming back to Sweden in February or April. Do you have any updates about that?
That fight's probably going to be in London. Yep. Well, it'll be between Gustafsson and Little Nogueira here in London. Well, there in London, not here in London.
One question to Lioro. Who you want to face now?
Oh, there he is. Right on cue. Go ahead, start talking. They'll get it. Get in there, yeah.
Hi.
There you go.
I don't know yet. I don't know. My boss is on my side. He can decide. No?
What was the question?
Who he wants to face?
He said he wants to fight Vitor Belfort. That's what he said.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Extra question now that Alex is here. Alex, you're facing Lil Nog. What's your opinion about that? There's been a lot of talk about you facing Cormier, and now you're facing stand-up guy, Lil Nog in London.
Well, I'm super excited to fight in London, and I've been fighting there before, and I'm really excited to fight there again. And for Lil Nog, we're supposed to fight way back, but we didn't, and now I have the chance to fight him again, and I'm really looking forward to it. He's a great stand-up striker, and yeah, a really good opponent.
One last question: would a win over Lil Nog be a definite title?
It's definite. He's got the shot. Yeah, he beats Lil Nog, and John Jones wins his fight against Teixeira. That will be the next fight. It'll be the rematch. It's actually kind of weird. Vitor hasn't called me yet, isn't it?
Michael Morgan, WorldTV.com. There is one opponent who I feel will actually stand and bang with you and see it through to fruition. How does Thiago Silva sound to you?
Whoever the UFC decides for me to fight, my manager, Dana White, everything. I don't turn down fights. I don't back down and everything. So whoever they say, I'll train and I'll fight them.
Yeah, and during his fight, I was texting with Joe Silva, and I said to Joe, it's time to take this kid to the next level. You know, get him over fighting in the United States and get him a big fight with somebody. I don't know.
I mean, just on that, Dana, it's kind of like well documented that you like to match up fights yourself. Just realistically for Jimmy, how far away from actually getting into title contention would you say he is? Obviously not now, but in your mind, what sort of like forming as a pitcher?
Obviously after you break into the top 5, you know, but in this sport anything can happen. So it's not like we haven't been doing guys in the top 8, top 9 that get big fights, you know, so anything can happen. Who's next?
Dana?
Yep.
John Lineker.
What's up, buddy?
Obviously, you know he missed weight and he's very fast to win. What do you think of that? What are you going to do with John Lineker? Is he going to find the weight first?
He said, the question is, John Lineker, what, you know, the kid missed weight again. What's the plans with this guy? What are we going to do? We're going to have him move up to 35 or stay at... Dan Lambert, for those of you that don't know who he is, he runs the American Top Team down in Florida. He's probably one of the best guys in the sport and has been since before we owned this company. And he hit us up tonight and said, let's get this kid down to Florida training, get him on the Dolce diet, and make sure that this kid can cut weight. So I mean, if he's so good, if he had made weight in his last, you know, the 3 times that he missed, he'd probably have a title shot right now. So he's going to get him sorted out. Yep.
Alan Murphy, WOW TV here at the back here, Dana.
Yep.
Question aimed at you and Norman Park. Norman, we seen you on Twitter tweeting at Dana about a certain Harley Davidson. Would you two like to clear it up while in the room now at the moment?
I don't know what you're talking about. What happened?
Wrong place, wrong time.
What, he wants a Harley Davidson?
Yeah, he feels that
because he won tough, he didn't get it.
Yeah, now that he's 3-0.
Well, unfortunately, Harley Davidson didn't sponsor that show. But the fact that he, you know, wants a Harley Davidson, he's saying it. They're good people. We'll see what happens.
And secondly, Dana, what did you think of Norman's performance tonight?
I thought he looked great tonight. You know, I thought he picked him apart, and you know, he had a tough kid who was undefeated, and he looked great, really good.
Dana?
Yep.
Down here?
Yep.
See you right?
Yep. I can hear you, brother. Go ahead, talk.
Michael Bisping said earlier this week that he would like to face the winner of Munoz versus Machida. I know you just said you like Machida versus Belfort, but does that fight interest you at all?
Yeah, well, here's the thing about, listen, I love that kid. I love Mike Bisping. He's out for 6 months. He's out for 6 months. If you see in his eye, yeah, his eye is a mess. So he's going to be out for a while.
He believes he'll be back in the in March in London.
He believes and what the doctor believes are two different things, okay? When he becomes a doctor, then I'll start listening to what Mike Bisping thinks about his eye.
Question for Leota.
Yeah.
Fantastic finish, and you held back at the end when Mark was down. Would you have held back for anybody, or was it because Mark was your friend?
The question was, for Leota Machida, you held back when Mark went down. You didn't hit him again. Would you have done that for anybody else, or was it just because he was your friend? Time to go? I got to go to Abu Dhabi, everybody. Take care. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the support. We appreciate you. Get up here, big guy.